Hello and welcome to the video. This is a bit of radio controlled news. Walksnail have released a new AVATAR GT2 kit that's available today. Now, we've not had a new Walksnail unit for a little while, so I was excited to hear that a new one was coming. Now, mine is a review unit. I've had it for a couple of weeks, so at time of recording, so this video is ready for release day, I'm not sure on the final price. Now, its predecessor, the AVATAR GT, had a transmission power of 2 watts and also included an integrated cooling fan. And that made it a perfect fit for those models where it wasn't going to be cooled by lots of airflow naturally. But this new AVATAR GT2 has a number of key benefits over that original GT. The first one is it's 30% less power consumption. So it has an optimized RF chip which reduces the peak power from 24 watts, which was on the original GT1, down to 16 watts. And that's going to mean that the battery is going to last a little bit longer. This isn't going to pull as much current. Does have frequency hopping, so it'll automatically detect the channel quality and select the optimal frequency to minimize channel interference. Has an auto 2-watt mode, so it'll intelligently adjust the transmission power based on the distance and error rate. And it's also made a couple of changes in terms of the connections too. Now has MMCX antenna connections and also longer antennas as well, which should improve those uses for long range signal stability. And it also includes a better designed fan to prevent overheating during those extended flights. A couple of additional things as well. The Sony IMX385 sensor that's in the camera should deliver really nice footage in both strong and low light conditions. It's one of the Starvis sensors. We'll go through the specs in a moment. Crucially, this new GT2 includes support for the GM gimbals. One of the things that I really love, I think the GM gimbals for the head tracking stuff is the best head tracking that I've ever personally used here, and also has a USB-C port on the side. So now you don't have to look for a cable, you can just plug it straight into your PC. So the specs on this is the AVATAR GT2, the camera is the AVATAR Pro again, which includes the Sony Starvis 2 sensor. Transmission power, FCC is about 33 dBm, that's 2 watts. CE setting is about 14 dBm. Interfaces, a JST 1.0 x 6 at the side for the regular cable. And then there is also the port for the full head tracker bits and pieces as well. Micro SD card slot and the Type-C USB cable, so you can plug it into the PC for updating and doing that stuff as well. Mounting holes on the bottom, a 25.5 by 25.5 and also 20 by 20, which is pretty standard on most of these units at this point. Dimensions, pretty chunky. It's 34 by 36 by 23.5 millimeters. The camera is the normal 19 by 19 by 24 millimeter size. Maximum SD card is going to be 256 gig. Image resolution on this can do 1080p and 720p, and the weight's about 52 grams without the antenna, although here's its weight as it's sitting here without the cable. And I'll show you also what the original GT looked like. It's a little bit heavier. Power input is 3S to 6S, so that's 11.1 to 25.2 volts. Average latency is going to be this typical 22 milliseconds that you'd expect from a Walksnail unit, and the antennas are LHCP antennas, much longer than normal, but connected via the MMCX ports at the back. Coax length is 140 millimeters. So I guess for those of you that have seen the GT that I looked at back in July 2024, the question is, so what's different? Well, quite a lot. It has the same max power, but it's more efficient, has a lot more finished machine fan enclosure. This looks like a much more grown-up piece of kit rather than just having the fan kind of soldered on the top. Has a USB port now in the side of the device. I personally like that. I'm not a big fan of having all the separate cables and the really small connectors on the side, which can sometimes be a little bit tricky to get in and out without bending pins. Stronger antenna connections, and the longer antennas are welcome for those who do want to push range or fly in areas that have a little bit of an interesting RF environment. It means you can mount the active elements at the top, the lollipop ends, well away from the chassis, but also perfect for ground-based vehicles, cars, trucks, but also boats, where you want the antennas as high as possible because you're going to sacrifice some of the signal. Obviously, the other big benefit is that we do have support here now for the GM gimbal, and the whole thing just looks a lot more polished. Only a couple of things to be aware of, I guess, on this is there isn't any lock for the antennas. The MMCX connector is a much more resilient connection for the antennas compared to UFL. They'll take a lot more of abuse, but personally I would have liked some kind of lock to keep them in place, so in the event of a little bit of an accident or a tumble, they're not going to be pulled out. There's only a handful of times that you can make these connections before even MMCX will start to get a little bit loose. The weight and size of this unit will limit it in some applications for putting inside a car, a boat, or those kind of things, or in a larger plane, something like a T2 He-Wing, or something like the Argus FPV Rockwing, where it's going to potentially be mounted internally out of airflow. This would be a great option. And for VTOLs, it also means that while you're in the hover, you're not going to cook your avatar unit. In summary, this is a far more professional looking piece of kit when compared with the original Avatar GT. And for those who want a unit that's going to stay cool even when the unit isn't being cooled by airflow, this is going to be perfect. Cars, boats, VTOLs, those kind of things, if you have space. For me, if I was going to build my radio controlled car with the head tracking setup now, I would use a GM3 gimbal along with one of these on the car to make sure that I could trundle around, have a load of fun with the gimbal looking around, and the Avatar GT2 wasn't going to overheat. Thank you for watching my video. Check out the playlist, and adding Painless 360 to your search terms will help you find my content. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. You can support the time I spend here answering questions and helping others by using the links in the video description.